So in my last video about the solar washing machine, I showed my solar water heater I'd made for the roof, and I said I'd do a little video on how it was made. So here we are. It's in bits at the moment. There's not much to it. There's only 4 parts. The hose pipe I didn't buy. It came with the boat because every boat generally has one, just for connecting water supplies for the tanks. So I didn't have to buy that. That's basically what you would expect to find if you're lucky. The tray itself, that I got online, and I'll show you a link for eBay. I estimate that it can contain about 20 litres of water quite comfortably. I only fill it up to about 10 litres though, because that's basically how much I need to use in a shot, unless I'm doing washing, in which case I probably want to use more like 20. But for most jobs like showers, etc., and doing the dishes and that sort of thing, washing your hair, 10's more enough. This adapter, I'll show you the link for that as well. I think it's called a butt adapter for a water butt. It's got your standard connector for your hose lock type connecting for hoses. Just unscrews. You got a free nut on one end. The other nut I believe is moulded as part of the actual plastic. Certainly sealed anyway. When I first fitted it, I had a leak, and that's because I'd taken the rubber seal off and pushed it through the hole, put the rubber seal on the outside. That doesn't work because the water leaks down the thread. So you need the rubber seal on the inside when you connect it up, and you won't have any leaks. Not from that anyway. Anyway, I'm going to explain about the cut in the hole after showing the parts. The next part to show you is the little trigger shower garden variety hose adapter. This is quite good. I also had a leak when I first put it together from this. People have said they leak on when I've looked up about them. But in actual fact, the only problem was there is a seal inside there. It does actually have, you notice, a little nut type edge on it for getting some tool on there to tighten up, and that's what I did. I just tightened it up, no more leaks. So it's also just the way it came. Just needed a bit more work on it. You can adjust the handle for the action. The main thing is you do have to make sure they have no leaks, because obviously if the thing's sitting up there on the roof for a couple of hours, you could find that your water's drained down considerably if you don't get it totally watertight. So I will demonstrate this the way I use it, with some water coming out a little bit later. I tend to use 2 settings, stream, or its opposite partner, which is full. They basically give you a strong jet of water, which is good for doing the washing up, that sort of thing. But for having a shower, washing your hair especially, use the cone setting. Don't use the shower setting. There isn't enough pressure to actually create a shower. It just dribbles out those little holes and just dribbles off in a stream. The cone is that one there, and it has lots of little pinpricks in it. That creates a more pressurised jet of water. In fact, I've tried it in the bath, and if I point it upwards, the jet of water shoots up about 4 feet, so well over a metre, about 1.5 metres almost. It is quite something really. I'm very surprised that it works. It's obviously theoretically the water is trying to get back to the same height, which is actually my ceiling. So it should have some pressure, and it certainly seems to achieve it. So that's great. Also, that shower, compared with any other shower, even a normal shower, on the boat, it uses so little water. The pressure's so low that the water's coming out very, very limited quantities. So it uses so little water. You can easily have a shower, wash your hair, still have a shave, use all that water, and that's probably only going to take you about 10 litres. So that's half the trays full to do all that. So that's pretty good, and I'm very pleased with that. The nice thing is that you only use it when you're pressing the trigger. That's great. Okay, so one more thing while we're at it with the hose pipe. So you've got the tray on the roof, and you feed the pipe through your window. Obviously one end's going to be free. Don't forget, when you feed the pipe through the window, to put that on the other end, because otherwise when you connect this up to your tray on the roof and you've forgotten all about that, and you connect your tray to it and you start pouring your buckets of water in, it's just going to disappear straight down onto your floor of your boat, so you really don't want that. So far I've not managed to make that mistake, so I'm quite relieved. So yeah, I'll try and make sure the end is sitting in the sink or a bath while I'm at it as well. Yep, so next bit we'll be talking about the hole. Okay, so the hole's obviously already there. I'll show you what I did. One word of advice is some improvements. I did mention on my washing machine video that I had some problems getting the last bit of water out. But 2 improvements can make for that. Obviously you do need to put a slight tilt on the tray when it's on the roof to get all the water out. One is, don't put the hole in the middle like I did there, put it to one side, put it towards one corner, so you can put a slight angle so it's all going to the corner, you get the last bit out that way. The other thing is, when this is actually in the hole, it's got quite a large protuberance of thread that you don't need. That equates to actually having a slightly higher, because it's your angled tray, it just makes the last bit of water sit around the neck instead of going into it. So I would cut that, in fact I'm going to when I refit it, cut that flush with the nut so the water can get out easier. So to make the hole, this is how I did it. If you've got the right tool, which is best one is kind of a punch arrangement, so it clamps together and squeezes the plastic out. That's great, but who's got that? And you're on your boat and you haven't got any tool station nearby or anywhere. So plus, why do you want to buy a tool you're never going to use again? So all I do is put the washer on, draw a little hole. Obviously I'm not going to drill it again because I've already drilled it. And then what I did was, using a hand drill, if you're electric drill it's quite a bit easier, but using a hand drill, just put lots of circumference holes drilled around the edge, along the line, bang on the line in fact, all the way around the outside. And then what I did was, when I had all these little holes gapped going around like that, I got my little wire cutters, and from the inside snipped the holes together, snipped the plastic joining them, and also did it from the outside. By the time I worked all the way around those holes, inside and out, I could just pop the plastic out. And then all you have to do is, on your finger, is rub a bit of sandpaper around the inside and out to get rid of any burrs, and then job done. Pull your little masking tape off. Masking tape is just so you can actually see where you're going to drill the holes really. Can't really see it on the black really. Not really to protect the plastic as such. So that's that job done. Another thing is, one other component I left off at the beginning is, maybe I'm just paranoid, but I don't want things like birds leaving me presents in my water when I'm having a shower or doing the washing, or washing my pots. So I created a little cover, and this is just scraps. In fact, it's wrong wheel, isn't it? Scraps. I had a couple of scraps I had of bubble wrap, and it adds a bit of insulation. It doesn't cost anything, and I just stick it in. I stick it down with sellotape, and that's fine. That really works quite well. The nice thing is, because it's plastic, the sellotape seems to be able to re-stick itself down. So if I get some perspex in the future, great, that would be nice. But I can live with this, and once it's worn out, I'll use another bit, and that's okay. I don't know what I said earlier, but the total cost to me has been a fraction over £20. So that's, I think that's quite good. You can buy little solar showers and things like that, but they don't seem to be very rugged. And from someone I met who had one on a boat, they said that theirs lasted a very short amount of time. This is obviously quite solid. I take it in after I've used it, so it's not going to get too much ultraviolet damage. 2 hours I'll get it pretty much up to temperature. If I put 10 litres in, it got up to blood temperature in an hour and a half in full sun. That was in the morning, and then this is midsummer. After 2 hours, the maximum I got it up to was 43 degrees so far, so it hasn't overheated. You're not going to scald yourself, hopefully, although it may get hotter if I leave it all day on a very hot day with full sun, no wind. So I haven't insulated the base. I thought later in the year I might actually want to use, I've got a little sample. Later in the year, when it starts getting colder in the autumn, maybe early winter, but the autumn, I'm thinking about using some of this stuff, double-sided taping it and sticking it on the base, so it's being insulated from the roof, because the roof might start getting cold at that time of year, and put a little bit around the sides as well, just to increase it. But I think in the summer it would just get too hot. It may even start melting the plastic parts, so you don't want that. Way anti-complication. This is just a little outside demonstration to show you what the water spray looks like. Just putting one bucket on the roof, and to give you some idea what this is equivalent to be inside the boat. My kitchen sink is approximately a couple of inches lower than the pavement of the canal towpath. So that's equivalent to being 6 inches above my sink. So that's water pressure. Obviously if I'm facing downwards and it's a little bit lower, it's a bit more powerful. As you go lower you get more pressure. So if you're actually in the bath situation, then you really do have quite a considerable amount of pressure coming out of the spray. And that's the little shower that you get from the cone, which is really good. Here's a shot of it in action from my solar washing machine video. The white wire is a temperature probe, so I can check the water temperature from inside, and then I know when I can actually start doing the washing or using it for showering. It occurred to me it's so light, you could probably take it on holiday to the seaside or camping, take a jerry can and maybe put the jerry can underneath it when it's on the roof of the vehicle. That would raise it a little bit more, or you might have water supply on hand if you're lucky. Having done water sports, a nice warmish shower after going in the sea would be quite welcome, I think. The other thing is, young kids think green things are really cool. Make one for the back garden so they can wash their hair and go and tell the teacher about it when they get back to school. Just one warning though, it's worth keeping an eye on the temperature, because I don't really know how high a temperature it can get to, and I don't want anybody to get scalded with it. So if anybody's using it, in fact, it's worth keeping an eye, just checking the temperature every now and again, especially before somebody starts to use it for the first time. Well, thank you for watching my second Floating Ideas video. As I said in my solar washing machine video, it's very simple, it's very cheap, and it works quite well. It's a low-tech solution. It makes it quite easy to make. Bit of hassle to carry buckets up and down to the roof. Apart from that, it's quite straightforward. I do have a high-tech solution idea, but that's going to take some time to plan and actually make and prove it works. But when it's all done, I'll make another video and you can see that. Floating Ideas, it's my way of giving back to the open community, if that's an expression. If not, just made it up. It's about making life easier, simpler, more economical and green. That's about it really. I'm doing this as a hobby, so I have limited time to do it. So it takes time to make the videos and actually come up with the ideas and test them out. There may be gaps in between posting videos, so it might be worthwhile actually signing up and get a warning of when the actual videos appear. And don't forget to let me know if you've actually tried any of the ideas or you've come up with them yourselves and actually made things that work. That would make it really worthwhile for me, because it's all about trying to help other people. So if I know people out there doing things, that's great. And even if it's something I haven't done and it's something you've done and you want to talk about, that's fine. So until the next time, it's ta-ra from me, and thanks for watching.